YouTube, what's going on? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're surviving the cold or the fires or whatever's going on in your neck of the woods. Hope you're taking care of your family and stockpiling food, supplies that you need. 2025 is starting off to be ridiculous. We got reports of the docks and the ports that are out of control. People are reporting shipping containers that are not right. They're outside the norm. They're reporting hearing people inside the container being shipped who knows where. They're reporting tunnels under LA that's been there for how long? We don't know. There is a report that was actuality just found out that there was a lake, a huge lake, freshwater lake, in the center of California. It was just brought to light. Joe Rogan brought it to light, actually. He was telling Donald Trump about it. Because they drained that lake and they don't take care of the forest, they don't rake the forest, they don't clean up the debris. Now you see what's going on. In the ports itself, you got all these illegal activities going on. You got these port workers and these dock workers that are saying that they're seeing stolen cars, stolen products, and everything in these containers that are supposed to go overseas. We see videos of Nigerians that are getting Mercedes and everything else, rolling them right out of the containers with our license plates on them. They're being shipped overseas. How many Mercedes go, or these high-end cars or vehicles go missing every year that are stolen, and we can go to Nigeria and find a majority of them, or places like Nigeria? Wow. They had one guy that actually had to sue the company because his plumber's truck was actually sent to the war in Afghanistan and used against our people. They mounted guns to the back of it. Still had his name on it. Wow. Imagine that. Our products, stolen products, that is making us pay the higher rates, is actually ending up overseas. And then you got Canada saying that they're going to do retaliatory tariffs if Trump puts a tariff on them. You got all these places that are saying if Trump does a tariff, but they've been doing tariffs against us for far too long. But now they're whining and crying because Trump is saying that he's going to do a tariff. So the balance is starting to come back to our favor a little bit before Trump even takes office. See, they can go through and manufacture all this stuff for cheap and free because they have cheap labor. When you bring the work back to America and you say American made, the unions want to get involved, and the unions want to start charging like ridiculous prices for their labor. I have a problem with American unions. They're greedy. They're very greedy. Unfortunately, the cost of living is ridiculous in America. In most places. You get out in the middle of nowhere where I live, pretty much, the cost of living is easier. But to afford a nice house, those nice new cars, and everything else, you got to be a part of the union or making a certain amount. Because if you don't make a certain amount, you ain't going to live nice. You're going to end up struggling. You're going to end up on the low part of the totem pole, and you're going to be working 2 and 3 jobs just to try to make it in this world. In California, you got child support that is destroying families. You got women out there that are demanding $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 a month and wanting more. The child support system is destroyed. You look at everything that it's run by the government, it's getting run into the ground. When fathers are told that they have to pay $2,500 or more for child support. Wow. Or $1,000 or whatever. You got all these different ways that terrorists are bringing in dangerous products into the United States. And by dangerous products, I mean the RPGs. I'm talking about everything. They found RPGs at the border down here at Mexico. You're talking about what's coming in through the ports. We don't know. Because, they're not allowed to check the products to see if they're stolen or if they're dangerous equipment or whatever. We don't know what's coming in the ports or being shipped out of the ports. The ports are open. Here it is. We got Mexicans or Hispanics or illegal immigrants that are willing to be welded into the body of a vehicle to try to cross the border. They found a tunnel down there at the Mexican border that goes to Juarez. And they said it was 6 foot tall, 4 or 5 foot wide, had the lighting and ventilation and everything done in it, and it was peered out the way it should be, and it looked like a mining, it looked like it was a mining project. Like they've been mining. We got all this stuff coming to light. But we can't guarantee our own security of our constitutional rights and freedom because the government and law enforcement has deemed that our constitutional rights is dangerous for their safety. Not our safety. No, it's their safety. It's police officer safety. Citizen safety doesn't matter. And if you don't comply with police officers, they will brutally beat you, or they will violate you, or arrest you, or do something, or write you tickets for retaliatory, and waste the court's time and waste the court's money. Oh, they don't care about that because, that revenue that they collect every day supposedly pays for it. I want to know where that money goes. Where did that revenue go that cops collect? Right. See, when the citizens has the right to self-defense, as the guaranteed part of the Second Amendment says, and it says shall not be infringed, security is in our own hands and our own responsibility. Standing up to your tyrannical government, your local government, your state government, your county government, your school boards, and everything else, that is your responsibility. A constitutional republic is dangerous. But if you're guaranteed that right and that freedom, you have the right to create your own security and your own privacy. Unfortunately, the government does not want you to build walls or fences that they can't get into because, that would make it unfair for them. Law enforcement has said this many times. If we have the guns, access to any guns in the world that has ever been created, that's unfair to them. It's supposed to be unfair to them. We have those weapon systems that are beams that are being used against us. Look at Maui, look at LA, look at all these different places that have went up in flames. And look how they started. It's amazing. Look at the guy that created a 3D laser gun, and he was burning a cardboard box and metal at 40 and 50 feet, 100 feet. 3D printed. Weapon systems that are made by a 3D printers. Wow. You got ATF and everybody else saying that, no. If we don't know, if it ain't registered, if it doesn't have a number on it, then no, you can't do that. No. The criminals don't abide by your rules or your laws. So do you think that we need to abide by them as law-abiding citizens? No, shall not be infringed. Hello. The courts are sitting here arguing about the Second Amendment. It's very simple. Shall not be infringed. Period. We need to set up the security of our ports again. Go through every one of those shipping containers that are being shipped out. Figure out where they come from, where all that stuff come from. Figure out if it's stolen or if it's got people in there, kids or people in those containers. We need to figure out where these tunnels go. We need to figure out all this stuff and shut it down. And if the billionaires, those billionaire families are involved, you need to confiscate everything they have. You need to shut them down, because if they're using their money to create evil and push evil across this world by the military industrial complex or whatever, the satanic pedophiles club, we know how many of those there are. We need to shut them down. If the Vatican's involved, we need to shut down the Vatican. Because if the Vatican is pushing all this stuff and they're hiding the archives of the truth, they need shut down. All criminal organizations, don't matter if they're Jewish or whatever, Catholic, wherever they come from, I don't care where they come from, if they're criminal organizations, they need shut down. Period. We need to take our freedom back. We need to set up law and order again. And stop listening to the UN. Stop listening to NATO. We need to pull out of the NATO and UN like right now. The Paris Climate Accord, or whatever you want to call it. The World Economic Forums and all these health forums. Pull out. Stop supporting them. We've been dabbling too long. We've been handing out money like it's candy. Stop handing out money. Stop showing support for all this stuff. Take care of America. Let's make America great again. But make America secure and knowing exactly what's going on in America. Everybody's been hiding behind the word classified in Washington, D.C. Oh, it's classified. Ongoing investigation, but it's classified. Top secret. Whatever. They've been hiding their crimes behind that word, classified. How many crimes have been classified that we don't know about? That our politicians and criminals in government have hidden from the American people by one word, classified. Y'all have a good day. God bless.